So your colleague David Beer was here about 6 months ago, and he said, yes, the immigration system improved under the Biden administration. What's the change here of Cato's position?
Under some ways, yes, and some ways, no. So it's a very large, complex system, as you know. It's second in complexity only to the income tax.
So,
then most of those people would have been weeded out.
This administration, which you said
This administration
did a good
or the
job in
last
some
one?
ways. The previous administration, they just let people come in without being able to get a visa.
Supply and demand. You're only talking about supply. These immigrants are people who are also raised.
No, I'll direct your questions to you, sir. Mr. Hankins,
I'm not asking a question.
Was there a cost?
Tensions explode on Capitol Hill as a Republican lawmaker grills a Cato Institute expert on immigration. While the witness defends improvements under Biden's legal immigration system, the lawmaker fires back with stories of crime, fentanyl deaths, and wage loss, demanding answers about illegal immigration and national security. Facts clash with emotion in this high-stakes exchange.
Immigration system improved under the Biden administration?
Under some ways, yes, and some ways, no. So it's a very large, complex system, as you know. It's second in complexity only to the income tax.
So your colleague David Beer was here about 6 months ago, and he said, yes, the immigration system improved under the Biden administration. What's the change here of Cato's position?
So the Cato Institute doesn't have positions. The scholars of the Cato Institute do. But if you want to narrow in on the legal immigration system, then I agree with my colleague David that the legal immigration system did improve during the Biden administration. But there's large other sections of immigration that have to do with enforcement, other categories
you're
of
going around
things.
telling people around the country here today that, hey, I'm going to split hairs, and I'm going to tell people that this one subset of immigration, hey, things are just fine in the United States of America. It's all good. When they understand this as a broader part of the immigration system as a whole, which has been a complete failure.
Well, sir,
So
I don't work in talking points like that. I'm interested in facts, and the legal immigration system is not just fine. I've spent my career writing about how we need to expand legal immigration. So no, I don't go around saying it's just fine. I said that things have improved, and no, I don't go around
sir,
talking.
Don't filibuster. I got questions to ask, and I only have 5 minutes. So you're saying you say in here vetting is effective and the visa process is secure. You stand by that, right?
Absolutely.
How did 350,000 children come into America that we have no idea where they're at the end of the Biden administration? How are there 600,000 criminal aliens in this country that committed oftentimes violent crimes, everything from attempted murder to carjacking?
The vast majority of those did not go through the legal immigration system. That is entirely the point that we are trying to make here today, is that they did not go through the legal immigration. If they did, then most of those people would have been weeded out.
This administration, which you said did a good job in some ways. The previous administration, they just let people come in without being able to get a visa. So, does your data that you purport to put out there that proves this, does it include the death of Stephen Nashwam, a truck driver in Rusk County, Wisconsin, up where I live, who left behind 3 daughters? Does that include him in the data? He's dead as a result of an illegal alien running him off the road?
The evidence that we have is
Does it include the 2 children in Abbotsford, Wisconsin?
It includes all people who are convicted of crimes in this country, sir, and all people who are arrested and all people who are incarcerated for crimes in the United States during multiple years, including the great state of Texas, which has wonderful data. The best crime data out there confirms my research. Every death and every murder is a tragedy, and those individual criminals should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. But that is not a reason to punish other people who are not criminals for that.
Are they in the data?
Of course.
Are the 100,000 children that died of fentanyl, or young people, number one killer of young people in America, ages what, 21 to 45, fentanyl? Do you include the fentanyl
You mean
deaths?
the people who voluntarily took fentanyl and overdosed under that tragic situations? No, those are not homicides, sir.
Or do you mean the communist Chinese who sent the precursors over here and then the
Are we talking about the drug war now? We're talking about the drug war?
And by the way, they sent it in being carried by people who are coming in with the immigration system.
Why don't you count the automobiles imported that also cause car accidents?
Have you done, in your data, have you reviewed The impact on wages for those who are in the lowest economic strata with these millions of people coming into America taking their jobs. I'll end there. Ms. Vaughn.
Of course.
Ms.
I have
Vaughn.
vast economic literature on
Ms.
that
Vaughn,
contradicts your statement.
share with us, has there been an impact on Americans' earnings as a result of illegal immigration?
There's no question that illegal immigration causes unfair competition, costing people job opportunities, depressing their wages, and causing those millions of Americans who've dropped out of the labor market to have trouble getting back into it. No question.
So it's clear they're making less money.
Yes.
And that should be included in any data set when we're considering what we should do with immigration. Is that correct?
That's the inevitable result. That's supply and demand. When you increase the supply of labor, distort the labor markets, you're going to get lower wages.
Supply and demand. You're only talking about supply. These immigrants are people who also raise
Out of order.
No, I'll direct the questions to you, sir. Mr. Hank.
I'm not asking a question.
Was there a cost to the fentanyl deaths here in America?
The open border made it a lot easier to bring in a lot of drugs, and a lot of drugs killed, as you said, about 66,000 people, just fentanyl alone in 1 year.
How much do you value a life?
You can't put a price on a human life.
I yield back.
Chair recognizes Mr. Nadler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman,